Years ago, a night and a moon somewhere between Valentine and Marfa, and a snake crossing the road. Highway 90, that stretch of West Texas that can be the strangest, the loneliest, and she's driving oblivious, chattering away in her mind, trying to blot out the voice that's telling her to turn around, go back. This man she left in Terlingua. But that's only part of it, and not the part that's confusing her now. How the country down there tugs, pulls like an undertow. Crazy because there's nothing down there. Vastness, emptiness. Yet it's become this fidget in her mind, and she's driving faster, popping cassettes, thinking El Paso in 3 hours, drop the rental, a plane, home. What she knows, order, purposefulness. When she sees this long something, too late to break, queasy thump, and in the rear view this contortion of pain rides up to the height of a man, triangular head, blazing hot red eyes straight at her. She calls when she reaches Austin, still shaken. The image won't go away, but still she resists comprehending that she needs to return, not for him, but herself. Snakes are like that, marking entrances. Snakes are a bunch of things. Once, Chaco, those ruins of the Anasazi, and a friend who at the time was doing long dances, and she'd brought her drum and was sitting the wide stone bench that runs the circle of the great Kiva, when she begins to thrum, and I who never, stone sober, began to trance, this huge head emerging, head of a rattler in profile on the other side of the Kiva, no sense of the rest of its body, just the head, a portion of its neck, its mouth beginning to open, and now I'm both directly in front and watching it from the other side, mouth opening wide for me to walk into, which I begin to do. Just that, as far as it went, sort of dissolved, something, one of those moments so bizarrely huge you're almost embarrassed to take note of them. Didn't know what to think, and didn't for years, when it comes welling back up. What I'm trying to talk about are thresholds, and what gets you there isn't always the big things, but the simplest. Like an old photo, like that classic one of the Mexican miner as he emerges from the topmost ladder of a shaft hold of the Terlingua mine, the burlap sling tied across his forehead. The photo catches him as if he were pausing there, and you feel the long trail of those hundreds of feet of dark earth he has just climbed. The sweat and grunt of ladder to beam to ladder, rising rung by rung. Nothing mechanized here, the old way, hauling out the ore one bundle at a time. It's like those whale dives when you go deep, deep, then breach and blow, the eyes crazed and bloodshot. Or I'm back in the Mojave on the cycle, working the whole of it, working it seriously, rising from a funky bed in a cheap motel on the western edge. 4 a.m., I bundle against the cold and shoot straight east, cleaving an endless flatness, a huge stretching out runway, and everything that black of the pre-dawn dark. Then ever so slowly, ever so subtly, emergent seas of color, susurrant timpani, up and out, coming on, and now I'm paying particular attention, trying to track the in-betweens, how that blue-black segues to the faintest of violets, that brightest, sharpest of pinks fades to what? I want to grasp the degrees, draw myself in close to presence with the elements, as if it might be a door. But the place it leads, so immediately there, but undefinable, places me nowhere, leads until not a word or an idea remains, and all is movement, prowling forward, the colors washing through me like ink vats, and I changing with them until I know not what. It's a moment where one sees as if backwards, a receding drawing you in, like a subway train sucked away, shuddering from station into tube. A glimpse as if through a crack, or that heightening as when a greater presence draws nigh, standing the hairs of one's neck on end. Like last February, after that first sustained stretch of warming, the time when you feel the desert begin to crawl out from under, this huge western diamondback crossing the dirt track near my place as I'm coming in. It stops transfixed in the headlights as I hit the brakes. I get out, keeping my distance as it coils, then squat. Tongue flicking from the coil, thin, moist, red forkedness. Amazing how a tongue can speak fear and sex and horror all at once. Herpers in the park tell me there's a million sensing nodes on it, that it isn't the eyes but the tongue that leads, that it's molecules and chemistry, perceiving the heat fields, danger, the earth. Tongue flicking air, trying to make sense now of all that's coming off me. The scent of soap from my skin, the mishmash of fabric smells, while its eyes, those clear, pale, heavy-lidded, unblinking eyes, just stare. It brings me right up against whatever this zone is. Mice and rabbits don't come close. Hawks are nearer, and of course bear and puma can bring it in. But this is like a viewing stand in front that stays front, opening to a world intense and vibrant in its beauty, scales and skin magnificent. When it flips, and it becomes that other, absolutely foreign, cold-blooded and pitiless, the horror from which Halloween 1, 2, and 3 arise. It's heat and sex, cold and unearthly. It's a spirit that would rise in nature as Katrina. It's the concrete, tactile sense of this that is other. And while it's always a relief just to get close, it's never quite enough. Can't quite catch it. The edge all fuzzy alert, the slight jag of vision wavering like a mirage, attention stretching as if between two worlds. Something eludes, something that keeps bringing me back, as if the place were a door leading in.